Sometimes you get given three terms, like this one here. One, two, three terms. It doesn't matter if it's three terms because ultimately you're trying to find the highest common factor here, and then you've got your brackets plus. Oh, because this is a minus here, you've got to stick a minus here. So again, the highest common factor goes here. You've got to find a well, you still have three terms in here. So when someone gives you three terms, it doesn't matter because later on you're going to have three terms in here um, because you're going to get the highest common factor times this. That will give you one term. This times this will give you another term, and this times this. So even though it's three terms, it doesn't matter. You're going to have three terms inside the brackets anyway. Okay. So let me do this one, and then you can do the next one. So here, first thing we do is try and sort out the numbers first. What's the highest common factor between these three numbers? It's actually a 3. So we can take the 3 out. Hang on, let me just do the brackets in here first. Here, this plus will be plus here, and then we've got a minus here. So let's stick a minus in here. So looking at these three numbers here, we know the highest common factor will be 3. So let's take the 3 out. Okay, and now look at the A here. You've got A here, but you don't have an A on this side, on the third term. So it has to be in common with all three terms. Here you've got A here, but you don't have an A here. That's not a common factor of three terms. So you can't take the A out. So the A will remain in this term and this term, but you don't have an A in this term here. Okay, so A is not a common factor of all three terms, so we can't take the A out. Let's look at the X. The X here, we've got X squared here. Okay, keep an eye on this. We've got X to the power of 6, and we've only got one X over here. So the common factor will only be one X. Okay, so here you've got X times X. Here you've got X times X times X times X, blah, 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 blah. But you only need one. You only need one. Because here you only need one. Because that's 1x is the only common factor for all three terms. So here you can take the X out. Okay. Remember, you're only taking one here, away here. And later on, you're only taking one outside here. Okay. So you're going to have 5 left later on. Okay, now what else? Let's look at the B. You've got a B here, but you don't have a B on this first term. So B is not a common factor of all three terms. So you can't take the B out. So the highest common factor of all three terms will be X to the the highest common factor for all three terms will be 3x. Okay, so what's left inside here? Well, remember we've got three terms inside here. Okay, well let's look at this term. Remember we've taken the 3x out, so what's left will be 2. Okay, looking at the 6 here, we've taken the 3 out, so 6 will be left. And well, we're not taking any A, we're only taking x out, so A will remain, A squared will remain, and we've just, remember, we've only taken one x out, so what's left will be just 1x. So here we've taken the 3 out. Remember, keep an eye on this common factor here, 3x. We've taken the 3 out, so we've only got 1. But let's not put the 1 in there. Let's just leave it out for the time being. So now looking at this term here, all we've taken out is 3x. Okay, so the A will remain, the B squared will remain, and we've taken only 1x out, so we've got x to the power 5 left. Okay, for this term. Now looking at this term now, remember we've taken the 3 out already, so what's left will be 3, because 3 times 3 is 9. Okay, we didn't take the B out, so the B will stay here, but we did take the x out. So remember we've taken this x out, so all that's left is 3b. Now let's tidy this up. So it's just a matter of doing this. X 2a squared x plus ab squared x to the power 5 minus 3b. And the hard part is looking for the common factor here. Okay. Now have a go on this one here. Try to sort out the numbers first. Okay, and then bear in mind that you've got a minus here, and then look for something that's in common with all three terms. Okay, so press pause and have a go. Okay, so let's try and stick the brackets in first. Minus, plus. Sort out. So what's the highest common factor for all three terms? It's not 2 because there's something higher than 2. Even though 2 will work, it's going to be 4. Okay, the highest common factor will be 4. So you can visualize the 8 as 4 times 2. Okay, and then visualize this as 4 times 3. Okay, well anyway, the highest common factor will be 4. Now, remember that we're going to take the 4 out. So later on, we're going to be left with a 2. And we're going to take the 4 out. Later on, we're going to be left with a 3. Okay, later on. Now, let's look at the a now. You've got a squared here. You've only got 1a here. You've got 1a here. So there is a common factor. The highest one is a. Okay, here you can visualize this as a times a. So we are removing 1a. Okay, we're taking the a out. Okay, so a, we've sorted out the a. Let's sort out the x. You've got x to the power 5, x to the power 6, x to the power of 2. So here the highest common factor is really just x squared, or x to the power of 2. So visualize this visualize this bit here as x squared times x to the power 3. So later on you're going to remove the x squared, leaving you x to the power 3. Visualize this x to the power 6 as x squared times x to the power 4. Okay, later on we're going to remove the x squared, leaving us x to the power 4. Okay, so looking at the three terms, the highest common factor will be x squared. Okay, so this bit here is our highest common factor. Now let's try and sort out what goes in here. 8, we've taken the 4 out, so we're going to be left with a 2. Okay, a squared, we've taken the 1a out, only 1a, so what's left will be 1a. Okay, x to the power 5, we've taken x squared out, so what's left will be x to the power 3. Okay, the minus, we're taking the minus sign down. 4, we've taken the 4 out, so we could put the 1 in here, but let's not bother, because we've got some more terms later on. If there's nothing else, then you would stick the 1 in there. Okay, we're going to stick the 1 in here. Let's do it. But you don't really need to. But okay, I'm going to remove the 1 later anyway. So here, remember we've taken the a out because a is a common factor here. So this a, we've taken that out already. Now let's look at the x to the power 6, we've taken x squared out. Here, can you see that? X squared, we've taken it out. So what's left will be x to the power 4. Okay? Oh, but why 1 times x to the power 4? Why not just remove the 1? Okay? Because 1 times x to the power 4 is just, well, don't need the 1 really. Okay, so here, 12, we remember we've visualized the 12 as 4 times 3, and we've taken the 4 out because 4 is a common factor. So what's left will be a 3. Now, did we take? Yeah, here there's only 1a, and we've taken the a out because it was a common factor of all three terms. So the a really we've taken out, so it's gone. X squared, we did take the x squared out, so that was gone basically. So these two, there's nothing left, just the 3. Okay, so now let's just tidy up now. So this, we've established that this is our highest common factor. So it will be 4a x to the squared, and then brackets. Okay, so 2a x to the power 3 minus x to the power 4 plus 3. So this is done. Can you see 3 terms here? Okay. Well, anyway, it's done here. This bit here.